All right, as you guys can hear, we are out at Autobahn Country Club, and I got Corey looking over his car currently, checking pressures. We're going to have quite a lot of students. It's actually a good turnout for the event. Subi Speed Expo at Autobahn Country Club. I'm going to have 3 students. We're taking them all out for a ride in Little Red behind us, and hopefully we have a good day. I want to get everybody out. I want to give them good rides. I want Mitchell to enjoy his ride with me. We're going to be doing an interview over the car. He's going to be riding along, and then Ryan is going to be driving the car, hopefully bringing me a car back without flat spotted tires. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to have a good time. I'll just give you a bit of advice. When you get in your first car, tell your dad to buy you a slow car.
My dad already bought me one.
What did he buy you?
Fiat.
Oh, 500?
Probably.
Yeah, close enough. That's still a slow car. Do yourself the favor. Leave all of the speeding on the road to coming to the racetrack.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to spend more money on insurance than you will on a car payment. That was the downside of my speeding ticket. And I wasn't even trying to speed. I was just on the freeway.
That's the downfall of my dad's life.
Uh-huh. So...
You gotta try to take a train everywhere.
Yeah, the insurance will kill you.
Yeah.
So, there's nobody out there on the street worth trying to prove yourself to. But here on the racetrack, you can prove yourself to everybody.
Yeah.
And it's even better when you're in a low horsepower car, because you'll take down some giants. So, I don't suspect many of these cars will be too much of a challenge for us in this thing.
So I'm giving one of my students' 16-year-old sons a ride along on the racetrack. You guys heard me giving him a little bit of a life lesson, just trying to prevent him from having to learn the hard way that, like I did, and I'm sure many of you have as well. However, we're in the process of, chasing down these BMW M3 owners, and I'm doing the best I can with these R888s, and they're absolutely getting pushed to their limits in this 105-degree heat index. And I'm still readily impressed at the rate that they're actually holding grip. But you'll notice that I have to brake kind of early into certain zones, especially the high-speed braking zones, such as coming up in here to turn 8. Normally I brake a marker deep, so I'd be braking roughly at the 2 mark, but I got to brake at like 3 marker because the brake pedal has just absolutely felt like trash since I swapped in the Hone Development brake booster delete kit on the car. We weren't sure what the problem was, but I'd been chasing this problem ever since I installed the kit on the car. Hiccup there that you heard in the car is me hitting fuel starvation, which means I'm just at about a quarter of a tank of fuel left in, so I got to take it a little easier on the corners. And now we're going to be entering into my favorite complex of corners, which is 4, 5, and 6 at Autobahn. They're just so fast, you can flow so well through it and carry so much speed, and you'll close the gaps on a lot of inexperienced drivers here, and just because of how fast you can take that entry into 5, turn it before you even see the corner. It's kind of a third eye type of situation where you just use your mind's eye to turn in for it, but that's the reason why I love Autobahn South and full course. So originally, Racing with Mitchell and I had came up with the idea that I would give him a ride along, and he and I would have like an interview in the car, explaining the car, the history of it, the modifications that are done to it, and the overall, description of what it feels like to drive in this car. And I'll be frank, the interview, I mean, we try to get good, clear audio. However, Little Red is just too damn loud inside the car that it kept peaking out his microphones. I don't know exactly what came of the audio, that he captured. But the interview, I mean, at some point I just kind of gave up on trying to hold a conversation in the car, and I just wanted to show him what the car was truly capable of doing. And mind you, we were on the old R888s that I ended up getting from a friend who moved to Thailand. Shout out to my boy AJ. But he gave me these tires, and I just wanted to burn them up because, I mean, why not just burn up free tires? Even though they're not the greatest tire, they're okay for what I'm trying to do out here, which is just go out, have fun, give ride-alongs, and try to give an enjoyable ride along at that. And you'll hear the tires, they communicate a lot more than the Hoosiers ever do. So I try to go out, and at some point you're just going to hear me drop the conversation, and I'm just going to start driving hard and just having a good time. Now in this next clip, you're going to see the definitive moment when I try to push the car a little bit harder just to give them a real feel for what the car is capable of. You see my left foot there? Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of left foot braking into turn 5. I'm pushing the apex a little bit harder, and overall pushing the car harder into the corners. You can start hearing the tires actually communicate a little bit understeer, but ultimately that's when you know I'm starting to push the car as soon as the left foot braking comes out. Now we're on a cool down lap. I wish the interview had gone a little bit better. However, you can only do what you can do. The car is just too loud inside. So this next session, we're going to send Ryan out with Mitchell inside Little Red, and they're going to do a review of the car. It doesn't go quite as planned either for them, but for different reasons. So here we go.
Thank you.
All right, so we have Ryan, one of the co-owners of the Red Race. Now for you eagle-eyed viewers and experienced track folk, tell me what Ryan just did wrong here. I'll give it a second. Well, for you guys that don't know, that white painted line on the right side of the car when he pulls out of the pits, that's called the blend line. You stay left of the blend line all the way around until the blend line disappears. The reason for that is they do not want you hopping out onto a hot track in front of hot traffic. So, Ryan, do better.
drowned out by Little Red's engine. You can hear him complaining about the brake pedal. It's absolutely true. Brian actually hated my brakes at first because they were super sensitive the first time he drove this car, and he did give me back 2 flat-spotted Hoosiers in the process. Thankfully, they're $60 takeoffs, and those were at the end of their lives, so I didn't really care when he gave them back to me flat-spotted. And he still felt bad, but still, now he's out there and he can feel exactly how trash my brake pedal feels, and I mean, it's very inconsistent. It felt soft, like as if it wasn't even really doing much. You had to put your foot completely into it to get past whatever resistance was going on. And needless to say, he really was uncomfortable with driving the car. You may have heard Ryan complain that he thought he made a mistake and grounded into 4th gear. However, it's just your standard B-Series 3/4 synchro wear, and this transmission was at the end of its life. However, I'm just trying to make it last this season before we pull it, because my other transmission is getting serviced at the time that this event was going on.
Yeah. So, what did you say is the biggest difference between trying to push a front-wheel drive car hard like this and a rear-wheel drive car?
So, just how it's going to behave mid-turn is different. Even though, as I keep saying, I feel like the LSD that he's put in this really helps it rotate.
Yeah.
I'm not used to having front-wheel drive cars not understeer so much. This one feels super neutral and balanced. The main concern I just had was just like I had no confidence of like whether or not we were going to brake enough in time for the turn.
Yeah.
I feel
so specific to this car.
Yeah, I don't want to trash on the car. It's such a converse issue.
And Jake did say he was kind of working through this situation. He said that the car brakes fine, but it definitely doesn't feel great. I'm going to take this off.
Fair enough.
My ear is killing me. And that died on track, but we're going to use it for audio right now instead.
Okay.
So if you want, you can get some airflow.
I don't think that went very well.
This is how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, sorry.
I really hope that didn't come unplugged just now.
I really hope I'm not the only one to do that to his trans, and I hope he didn't hear it.
Okay.
Keep that out of the video.
You're
Both
fine.
the grinding and I'll tell him. But,
no, you're fine.
it was just I've locked up his wheels at Gingerman before.
I see you.
Yeah.
And it was pretty like I felt kind of bad, even though he was like they're garbage anyway. But that's how sensitive it was. It was like literally like tap, and you were like fully braking.
Yeah.
And now that it's like I was going deep. And
That's what he said.
down or the brakes fading. It's hard to get used to.
Yeah.
So I do like the car a lot for what it is. I love the way it sounds. I really like the way it drives. In my head, I remember thinking the first time I drove it, it was like, this might sound like very bizarre, but have you ever seen those like Civics racing in Tokyo on like the highways or like through the mountains? And they just look super planted.
Yes.
This drives like that looks. It's
Yeah. I see what you're saying, and I could totally agree. It feels very connected to the road, to where I feel like I was feeling all imperfections in the concrete very clearly. If you laid down a brand new pour of concrete and you drove this over, I would trust that you could find any imperfections in it immediately. It feels that tight.
Yes, you are tight like a tiger.
Some of the other cars that we drove previously felt fairly soft, all things considered. This I would not classify that way,
Right.
which is surprising. He told me about the spring rates, and I don't remember
Stiff.
off the top of my head, but it feels like it would not be super stiff. It must just be the weight.
Yeah. It's very light, which is nice. I love the way it sounds. I love the noise when VTEC kicks in.
Yes.
Very deep drone. It's very loud, and it revs pretty high, and it's, I think he told me it's like over 181 or 180 to the wheels.
Yep.
Which is a lot for an NA 1.8. And it weighs like 25 or 400 with one person in it. You know?
Yeah. He had mentioned it was 190 horsepower, and I told him, I said, I don't feel any lack of horsepower. I don't feel like we're waiting for the next quarter. It's definitely not getting there maybe as fast as a V8 car would. But I mean, if this was my car, I would be pretty happy with it. Yeah.
Nice.